100%. I think there are a couple key things here for Nemesis. Get the power weapons out of their hands, get them in yours, and same with all of the equipment on the map. Same with power-ups. Just don't let them touch a thing, and you should be just fine in this series. Well, with that being said, I'm going to hand it on over to our two wonderful casters, Shaz and Dan. It's over to you.
Thank you so much. Dan, you spoke about silver linings in the series. Perhaps Shopify Rebellion will have silver bullets to take down Nemesis, because this one's going to be a long series.
Silver bullets, are they vampires?
Yeah, beasts.
That was pretty good.
Beasts
is what you go up against. So yeah, Aquarius, capture the flag, will be where we start things off. Of course, you would have seen this series layout already today when the first seed in the pool goes up against the second seed in the pool. I do think Aquarius ETF is going to be an interesting one. I'm going to be looking at WuTum as the player for Nemesis. He averages 628 damage a minute on Aquarius and on CTF in general. And that is a lot of damage output from one of the best players, if not the best, House and Keyboard player in the world when it comes to Halo.
More stats on your screen though. Unbeatable in CTF. You can see 5-0 record for Nemesis, 6-2 for Shopify Rebellion, 3rd and 1st respectively. You can see Capture the Flag, Dan. It's going to be a big game in this series.
I mean, to be ranked first in Capture the Flag is definitely something that bodes well for Nemesis. It is always going to be about who you played in Capture the Flag. Of course, you have to remember that Shopify Rebellion got further in the tournament, played Optic Gaming in even more series than Nemesis would have as well. So you always have to keep that in the back of your mind. But the fact that Shopify Rebellion are still 6-2, despite playing 2 best-of-7 series against Optic Gaming, certainly is a good sign for them as well. But on average, they're both capping around 3 flags. So on Aquarius Capture the Flag, where you need 5 to win, this one could be interesting.
We mentioned for Nemesis, SLG is going to be very important, and you had a little bit of a slower tournament last time around, but is there anybody else on that team that you expect to push the envelope, be that player that Nemesis can turn to that will really carry them through the series?
I mean, if it's not WuTum, I think maybe Snipedrone. I think one of the things with Snipedrone and with this team in general, which maybe Rebellion can capitalize on, that certainly FaZe did, Snipedrone likes to be an anchor. We always know he's a player who will just be a turret from the back line. Often, Snipedrone is confident on his own. He doesn't have to play next to someone, so you'll often see Nemesis do a 3-1 split. If he gets caught out too much, then Rebellion are just going to overpower Nemesis. They're going to be in a 4v3 almost every other day. But if Snipedrone can win his ones, that puts them in such a good position, because not only will they be in a 4v3, but he'll also have an angle on them or be at the back just as a turret as well.
You mentioned his playstyle and his opposite number. Really, he was the one who made this playstyle. Royal 2, talk about someone sitting in a power position doing damage. Royal 2 does that better than nobody else.
Yeah, averaging 1.34 KD on CTF is Royal 2 from Arlington, excuse me. Not currently at this event, from the last one. However, all the caps are kind of shared across the board when it comes to Capture the Flag for Shopify Rebellion, which maybe surprised me, but at the same time doesn't. If you are going to be the best team, you have to make sure everyone's playing their part.
Rockin' and rolling, underway in this series. Shields up, weapons up, and it's Glory. What can the Irishman do for his team? Cykul's already made it into his base. Flag's going to get pulled out here. Cykul's going to try and make as much distance as he possibly can, with somehow, some way, Cykul survived, got away, and got the flag over his half map.
Yeah, already a very aggressive start, and it is going to work out, going in favor of Shopify Rebellion. Then it is going to be a 1 flag lead, and that doesn't bode well for Nemesis.
Worst possible start. Snipedrone does win that one you were talking about. Had the help of the thruster pack. SLG gets a flag pull here then. Royal 2 will get the kill. So a very fast start here for Rebellion. And for Nemesis now, you're not only worried about trying to get a flag capture down, you have to get yourself back into you need 2 back-to-back flag caps now.
You can already see Snipedrone with 4 kills though. He's kind of playing on his own, and we'll see one of his 1v1s here does trade out, so at least that's job done for Snipedrone, but now the rest of the team needs to capitalize on a little bit. Cykul just taking a look down this alleyway. Frosty's going to be the one to pull, and maybe Shopify Rebellion looking to try and go for a second flag here as off-spawn Nemesis is going to wrestle back a drop.
Down goes Glory.
Oh wow.
SLG follows him. So much damage been done by Cykul here. Happy to just play this one patient. 3 dead. WuTum will eventually fall. This flag could keep going forward here, and it is. Royal 2's got it in his hands. 2-0. Blink and you would miss it.
Sadly for Nemesis, just out of the gates hot are Rebellion, and this is something we were alluding to on the desk. When a team is ahead, they play incredible, do Nemesis, but how do you fare when you are behind and the other team has control? Can you take that moment to have a breather and just reconsider what you want to try and do, to plan an attack to try and break through? But now you can already see Rebellion running another flag. There is going to be a camouflage for them to work with as well.
We highlighted before the series, SLG and WuTum, they needed to be the players that stepped up. 1-1-5, 1-3-7. They've not had the start that they would have liked. Nemesis really struggling here. That's a 3-0 lead. Complete dominance, and they're going again here.
Oh man, this is just a difficult watch if you're a Nemesis fan. Turn your eyes away, Nemi, because this is about to be 4 as well. I don't think anyone's going to be in position to stop this one. Yes, okay, the damage is done, but maybe that flag is already in the spot to cap this to go 4. Nemesis are going to try and maybe use this now as a chance to take top middle positioning. Glory's actually gone for the return. Okay, fair enough to Nemesis. That is brilliant from Glory to take advantage of maybe just Rebellion expecting that one to be blocked in.
Rebellion forced to go again then. It's going to be a push over towards the P side. Frosty gets a kill. Good damage put down by Cykul this time. Gets one on bottom middle. Great listing, great communication. You can tell the comms are on point here from Rebellion. It's been another demolition job so far.
That return could be the turning point for Nemesis though. You go 4-0 down, this is probably chalked off, but it would just give you that little bit of a momentum just to say, all right, come on, can we get back into this one now? Really need to claim something back in this game. As WuTum, just the 3 kills at the moment. It's Snipedrone who has put up all the numbers on the side of Nemesis. WuTum gets deleted by a grenade.
Is it the turning point, or is it just delaying the inevitable here? This game has just been played deep in Nemesis territory. But a double kill for Snipedrone. He is putting down the numbers you would expect from him, 12, 2, and 10. He's trying to get something going for his squad here.
Rotu does go down, so WuTum getting the better of him. And there is going to be a camouflage for SLG. 2 and 10 at the moment, but he gets spotted out by Frosty. Needs help. Does get it in the end, but Frosty did what he needed to do. All 4 are dead, though, for Rebellion. So Nemesis now starting to make waves and at least getting a little bit of map control. Job 1 is done, but now you need to see if you can follow up and actually get a flag.
Has this come a little bit too little too late? We've seen Aqua flag games. I mentioned Quadrant way back when against Optic Gaming. The flag caps they were able to put in. All 4 dead now. Here's the opportunity. Here is the moment. The Nemesis starting to find some life.
Yeah, Glory's going to be the one to move. It does have support from WuTum as well. You can see that he's just watching over towards Fridge to ensure that those spawners are going up towards P. Feeds that information to the rest of the team. And now you've just got to be careful here if you're Glory, because you've lost 2 of your teammates. You're so close, but can you actually put it in? The answer is yes. It's 3-1. So Nemesis back on track. And boy, do they need that cap.
Nemesis put one on the board. Now they have to try and stop the push. They've lost 2 members. Sacrificed to get the flag capture, and that means that Shopify Rebellion now knocking on their door. Like the big bad wolf. They're starting to descend on the base. Gonna huff puff and blow it down. Snipedrone and WuTum on the back foot, trying desperately to stay alive, trying desperately to fight tooth and nail. Good enough for trades. SLG be the first one off the respawn. Glory spawns over towards the Fridge. So they manage to just get that flag capture down, but more importantly, hold it.
Reason why Nemesis unbeaten on flag at the moment throughout this season of HCS. Of course, we only have 1 event. They know they are capable of getting back into this game, even against one of the best teams in this competition. If not the best, depending on who you ask. As we look now, LastShot just trying to stay alive and making sure that there is no easy route for any of these Nemesis members. It does catch SLG off guard, but it's going to be a 3v3 on the map.
WuTum's got the camo. They're moving this flag back. Frosty does not know where the Finman is. He just managed to scarp her away down bottom middle. This flag is going to get punched in, so hold on a second. Nemesis have decided to start playing some Halo, and they're right back into this thing, 3-2.
You have to go back to that flag return. When it was 3-0, looking like it was going to be 4. They just do enough damage to stop the flag going in, and then it was Glory who got to the base. Was able to get that return, and it's just breathing new life into this team, who were really struggling to begin with. It allowed them just to flip the map a little bit in their favor. Snipedrone again, just catching out those last remaining players. Has a chance for a triple, but doesn't challenge it. Tried to get away there, but also was feeding information to SLG.
Nemesis starting to ask questions of their own now.
Here we go.
Rebellion guilty of just letting their foot off the gas. You cannot do that against a team the caliber and the quality that Nemesis possess. This flag's going to move once more. It's down through bottom middle. They have numbers on the map here. Nobody in position, it would seem, for Rebellion to get the stop. And we're all tied up, 3-3.
That's incredible comeback from Nemesis. You ask yourself, you know, are they capable of going up against the biggest teams? Is it a one-trick situation where they can only play against Optic? I think they've already answered those questions in these few minutes where they've just come back from 3-0 down. Sadly, SLG doesn't get maybe as much presence he would want on this side, but he is going to be able to be a nuisance in this base now. 2 are down from the side of Rebellion, and everything is screaming Nemesis right now.
Social media manager, no doubt, has some memes loaded up, whether they win or lose. So far, showing great heart, showing great resilience here in this bounce back. And they've gotten this flag all the way into their own closet. Is the cover fire going to be there? WuTum has to back away. Cykul's going to chase. Good enough for a trade. They have got to pause here, play this one patiently, because they risk a counter cap here, Dan.
Yeah, Frosty has the camouflage as well. You don't want to... you might have just give up on this one, I think, if you are Nemesis. It looks like that is going to be what they opt for. You had gone down too heavily there and allowed that flag to be pulled with Frosty having the camo. It would have definitely been a cap. Nemesis needs to be thinking about bigger picture. They back off. They will just retreat into their base a little bit.
It does show great game awareness, knowing the flag was so close to being captured, but knowing you have got to give it up because the numbers aren't there, the damage is not on the map for you. Great awareness. As we head to the final 3 minutes then, this game could go either way.
I mean, this is what we wanted. When you see 3-0 to Shopify Rebellion, you start to worry that maybe this is going to go like the rest of the matches we've seen throughout today. Some very one-sided affairs on the main stage. Nemesis are displaying why people believe that they can push into the top 4 and maybe reach the same kind of heights that Quadrant did back in Arlington all those years ago.
LastShot then, behind enemy lines. Trying to cause some ruckus. 2 go down for Nemesis, so an opportunity to pull the flag if he decides to take it. Opting instead to look for some angles, look for some information for his team. Snipedrone, the back of the base, combines with WuTum to get the kill and clear out the riffraff. It's a little bit of a stalemate. Trades coming across the board, back and forth we go. And just 2 minutes left on the clock. It could very well be next cap wins.
There's a clear angle from Rebellion of trying to force their way into Gen and then try and catch a couple of players off guard and then pull the flag. But maybe Nemesis have become wise to it, because what was working in the early stages suddenly isn't for Rebellion now. Snipedrone gets a kill onto Cykul, so it's going to be a 4 versus 2, and now Nemesis can look to collapse.
Here comes the push, here comes the pain. Grenades go down. Royal 2 will get a kill, Cykul as well, but they've got the camouflage. What can the Irishman do? Cykul over top middle, looking, trying to find the player. They know he's around here somewhere. Just don't have the information. He's picked up a thruster pack along the way. He's opting to use his camouflage, a little bit of defense though, it would seem. Gets the stick on the Royal 2, how important that might be. Frosty's in trouble in the window as well. Uses the thruster pack, but Frosty comes up big. WuTum's there though. WuTum gets the kill. All 4 dead now for Shopify Rebellion, and Nemesis are on the move.
Nemesis on the move and a chance to take the lead. You said it could be next flag wins. Well, here's a bloody good opportunity to get that flag in. Royal 2, though, off spawn, does able to challenge it, but does go down as well on the flip side.
LastShot doing damage to the flag carrier. Just about rounds the corner. Frosty's the last man standing for his team. He gets the kill. Can he get the return here? Nobody there for Nemesis. He goes down, but has he done just enough? Was there enough progress made? Can they get a touch on this flag? WuTum goes in and it goes back home.
Did he nade himself there? 50% thinks that maybe he naded himself, because certainly it was a melee kill that was given. Crazy, but the flag is going to start to move again on the other side. You can see, though, 3 are dead on the side of Shopify Rebellion. Nemesis, it's a 1 versus 1. LastShot may be there to return this one.
All LastShot has to do here is delay. Wait for his teammates to spawn back up. Shopify Rebellion just survived that scare.
And Frosty's gone massive, then naded himself, but just about got away with it. He literally went out with a bang. 15 seconds left before we start to think about overtime. Again, LastShot going for the push through Gen to then try and get behind. And now there is a little bit of control. 2 are dead for Nemesis.
Is LastShot going to gamble and go into the flag? The answer is no. Are they both going to accept the fact that we are going to go to overtime? The question and the answer to that question is going to be yes. We're going to be back honors even. Reset the whole map. We thought it might be next cap win. Now we know definitely is next cap wins.
Definitely is. 5 more minutes added onto the clock, but that was an exhilarating 12 as it looked like Rebellion were going to be walking away with this one. Nemesis looking to try and hold on to that unbeaten record on CTF so far this season. And actually, what I was saying earlier, the Nemesis sometimes when they are down, they kind of roll over, show their belly a little bit. It was exactly the opposite. You go 3-0 down, they took time, they took a breather, and then suddenly they found that opening, they got that return, and they've looked like a different side since. And a lot of it's been down to this match. Snipedrone, camouflage, 30 kills so far.
What's the opposite of showing your belly? Is it your heckles are up and you're showing your teeth now instead? Because that's exactly what we've seen here. Snipedrone's pulling the flag, 31 kills. He has some bad news though, as he's the last man on his team on the map. Frosty gonna put down some damage and play this one patiently. Nate goes down right in the path of Snipedrone. They've had enough possibilities here where they could have got this flag cap, but is it going to come back to bite them in the backside?
Yeah, just such fine margins, but again, that's exactly what some of these pro players have been saying, that some of these games can come down to just that one moment, whether it be a second on the flag, a no-scope that's hit with a sniper rifle, even grenading yourself, for example. But LastShot will get this return, so Nemesis, try as they might, they're not able to get that one back either.
And you fear now, have Nemesis put so much into these last few flag grabs that Rebellion might only need one. It's a 2v2 on the map for a moment. WuTum trying to get some territory for his team, push, get some space, create some openings. WuTum will fall, but as will LastShot. Damage advantage now does favor Shopify Rebellion. SLG does fall, but Glory's behind enemy lines. But they have a tab on him. They know exactly where he's positioned. Royal 2 gets caught unawares, good enough for a trade, but the flag's going to be on the move here, and this time it's Rebellion who've got hands on, and this might have been what the worst fear coming to fruition. But WuTum gets to a massive couple of kills.
Yeah, WuTum just not afraid to peek back out because he knew they would be desperate to get a touch on that flag, because had they got round the corner with a flag, it probably would have been a cap, if I'm honest. But WuTum joining Snipedrone on 31 kills. I said he was going to be a key factor here. There's the windmill, though. That's what can happen when you are on mouse and keyboard against controller players sometimes. 4 dead now for Nemesis. And Shopify Rebellion, the last 2 remaining players, can look to try and take some space.
WuTum trying to power his own setup with those windmills. Generating his own energy. And now, in siege territory. With 4 members of Nemesis, they were in their own base. They were pushed back. But they fought from the back foot. And now they can start to venture forward. SLG then turns attentions back towards his own base, gets the kill onto Cykul. Frosty down to no shield as well. This is good from Nemesis. They're pushing forward once more.
Frosty's going to be there to grab that one maybe. SLG is going to be behind enemy line. There's a lot riding on SLG right now.
SLG doesn't get the kill. Royal 2 stays alive, uses the thrust back just to avoid the crosshairs. Kills favoring Shopify Rebellion, all 4 dead. This could very well be the game. Scooped up the flag, tossed it in, it gets sent home. Rebellion survive, but the flag stopped in its tracks on the podium. Anybody there, it's going to be Royal 2, will get there. 4-3 the final score, but boy oh boy, did Nemesis make a game of it.
Nemesis did make a game of it, but from their side, I think they would be pretty annoyed that they weren't able to capitalize on some of the pulls they had. The game was almost there. If it weren't for Frosty clutching up, sending that flag home in the end, it probably would have been a Nemesis win, but a lot of resilience shown to be 3-0 down and bring it back towards overtime. But again, when you look at the difference between the great teams and the teams that are in that chasing pack, it's the clutch moments. It's pulling it out in those scenarios where it is so close and comes down to just one flag, one kill, one grenade.
Looking at the stats then, Royal 2 hitting 32 kills, but Snipedrone and WuTum combining 34 and 33 kills, Dan. They were turrets on the map, but unfortunately, they just couldn't get the job done. They put themselves in so many good positions, but just couldn't capitalize on it.
Over 9,000 damage for LastShot, Snipedrone and WuTum. All were amazing on the map, as you said, but was just, you mentioned it, one flag that you need for Shopify Rebellion. They're just that little bit better at setting up for it. And it was a big risk of a play from SLG. He recognized that the rest of the team was down, so he had to go for it. I don't think it was a misplay by any means. He had to try and surprise them when he's stuck behind. But once Royal 2 spotted him, he wasn't able to get that kill. He called him out, And then Royal 2 just backed off, waited for the rest of the team to be together, and then SLG could only toss the flag out, and by that point, you're so vulnerable anyway.
That really is the difference between the top 2 teams and everybody else, is they are clinical when you give them opportunities. There was 3 times Nemesis got the flag back to their own closet, but just couldn't capitalize and couldn't get it over the line. Frosty made that massive play to get the re here. You spoke about maybe he naded himself, but
He did, yeah.
He did. But he done just enough. But they're the moments in these series where you look back and go, if that one kill went their way, the series and the game goes their way.
Still can't believe he naded himself. They were a split second away from touching that flag as well. Sure, it would have been a very difficult pill to swallow had the game been lost just because you naded yourself. But it is not. Shopify Rebellion will take map number 1 then. CTF Queris 4-3, a very close affair. Certainly a lot to take from it from the Nemesis side. We do move over to Slayer Streets, and as I alluded to earlier, it is arguably one of Rebellion's worst Slayers, if not their worst Slayer so far this season. Yet to win it, 0-2 from Arlington. Are they going to be able to put a 1 instead of that 0? LastShot's going to be the player to watch for me. On the other side for Nemesis, we can look at how SLG compares that. This is when it comes to Slayers at this event as well. And LastShot has been performing extremely well.
You see him holding up bullets in his picture, pocket aces. And he really has been an ace on the field time and time again. SLG struggling statistically in that last game. He had some big moments. But in the Slayer, Dan, you cannot afford to fumble in those stat categories. You have to make sure that you are clinical when you get the chance, you get the kills, and you stay alive, Dan.
SLG usually deals, or across Arlington, excuse me, he deals around 500 damage per minute on Slayers. For LastShot, 544 damage per minute. So 2 players who are so key to the success for their teams, but as soon as those averages start to drop down, that's when the rest of the team's starting to side-eye each other, saying, well, how are we going to win this one if our lead performer is struggling a little bit? And it's exactly what happened to Nemesis in that Game 5 against Optic Gaming, where SLG just wasn't quite on the pace.
And you'll know he'll be as critical of his own game as anybody. He reads the game so well. As we head into this next game, he needs to have a big one. There's very little room for error, very little margin to make mistakes in these big series against the best teams, because when you give them opportunities, when you give them openings, they will capitalize on it and they will make you pay, like we've seen in game number 1.
Can Nemesis maybe take advantage of one of the weaker game types for Shopify Rebellion, or has one of the weaker game types suddenly become one of their strongest through practice? And of course, the age-old quote, is their worst still better? And maybe Nemesis best when it comes to this map mode. I'd like to think after map number 1 that this one is going to be another tight affair.
You wonder what the end game feeling is for Nemesis after that game 1. We were down by 3, showed great heart and resilience to get back into a 3-3 the score, but then ultimately you fall, and does the air escape your lungs then? Is it a sigh? You came so close, but ultimately got no reward. Camouflage about to pop up here. You see both teams posturing for it. Royal 2's got a melee on the Snipedrone, good enough to get the kill. It's a bit of a brawl here for the Camouflage. Shroud screen goes down to try and cover Cykul's escape. But which way did the Camouflage go? SLG might have had it there as he died. Either way, the score currently sitting at 5-4, and very close after the opening engagements.
Cykul found more grenades to throw at himself. That's always good. These tight angles with grenades that you do try and just get it through a fine line, and if you get it wrong, they do come back at you. So you have to be careful, but they also know how detrimental those grenades can be to the opposition if you pull it off. Do try and be so precise, these players, with these grenades sometimes. Frosty goes down, but we'll trade it out.
Snipedrone gets pancaked off the wall, and that's good enough for the kill. 3 dead for Rebellion, though. 1 kill game. They're going to spawn over towards Tower and PD then. Nemesis are taking control of the map. They're pushed high. They're holding a high line of engagement. Glory's going to get some information and a kill.
Good nade.
Last shot there. Will fall. Cykul will too, so 3 dead again. This is much better from Nemesis.
Yeah, Nemesis really saw that Rebellion were kind of trapped in PD, so they made sure they did close things out, but Frosty was able to shut down one of them. LastShot finds himself a Stalker, unable to do anything with that. Royal 2 maybe can pick it up. SLG still surviving as the next camo's coming up, but yeah, this is back and forth. This is all-out war at the moment, just brawling in every aspect.
Both teams standing in the middle of the ring, throwing haymakers, and whoever's standing by the end of it wins. Snipedrone gets a pick, turns around onto LastShot. Glory's going to try and close the distance to help his team. Royal 2 continue to put down so much damage with that Stalker rifle.
A 3-kill lead. Game slows down a little bit. Cykul decided if Frosty wasn't going to get taken down, he was going to take him down himself. These grenades are crazy from Rebellion over these last 2 games.
Here comes the Nemesis to collapse then. SLG gets a trade. Snipedrone gets a kill elsewhere. Really good collapse from Nemesis. Playing this one perfectly. Again, they walk in, they get the kills, and they spawn them back over towards tower once more.
And Nemesis are really taking the game to Rebellion, which I think shows that they are not scared about who they're going up against. Cykul's going to get swarmed over towards Cafe. Suddenly it's an 8-kill lead now for Nemesis. For all the talk I've said about SLG and WuTum, again, it's Snipedrone who is the player that is putting up the numbers right now. That can happen though when you are the player who does kind of play the anchor role or just the off-position role. You can pick up a lot of those kills through the damage that's done by the rest of your team.
On board with Glory then. Pushes down towards Pink Street. Engages with Royal 2. Snipedrone will then engage with Cykul. Glory will tip back into the fight. Tries to get the kill on that player on bus stop, and he does. Royal 2 could be eventually about to fall. Absolutely not, he gets shut down. 3 dead for Nemesis then. A 4-kill game.
Yeah, Rebellion slow it down a little bit, and they almost wait for Nemesis to come around the corner and punish them for it. Really has been impressive for Nemesis to not be scared about who they are pushing though, and again, it's going to be 31-24. It's another successful collapse from this Nemesis team. When they are working all together, Nemesis look like one of the top rosters in this league, that's for sure. You almost feel like it's inevitable that at one of these events we're going to see another European breakthrough with how they've been playing, and you thought it was going to happen at Arlington, but I think the reverse sweep was just... I think once it had got to 2-2, I think it was inevitable it was going to be a reverse sweep as well. Sadly, I think Nemesis probably accepted defeat. Let their heads drop a little bit, especially after 3-0ing them in pool play.
Great shots out of SLG. Being a real thorn in the side of Rebellion here. Great damage down again. Could be about to pick up a double and does. It's a 5-kill game now. Cykul answers back over onto Glory. Let's trade it out. This is what Nemesis are doing well. If they're going to give up a kill, they make sure they get a trade in the process. Killing spree now for SLG. This is what was asked of them. This is what was demanded. They're going to win games in series against the big dogs. Everybody has to step up and perform.
Putting the Stalker Rifle to full effect and also not overstepping your boundaries. Not putting that Stalker Rifle in a position where you're going to be able to give it away. Instead, just utilizing it for long distance damage. As the ammo starts to be sparse, that's when he starts to get a little bit more aggressive, seeing if he could capitalize on the damage that was done elsewhere. Still only a 5-kill game though, make it real chance for Rebellion to get back into this one. One camouflage going their way, they can really swing this in their favor.
One clean set of slays. They get a fresh 4 dead. They're right back in this game. Who would bet against them? SLG is going to be the first pick. Cykul slides down towards the bus stop. Frosty's there on B steps as well. They combine, and just like that, 4 fresh kills. SLG falls. It's a 1-kill game. Make it 2. As Snipedrone answers back.
SLG did do well there, actually re-challenging to almost encourage the push from Frosty to guarantee the trade, rather than allowing Frosty to come back. I think as long as Nemesis can ensure that the trades are happening, they're going to be happy at the moment. It's still a 3-kill lead. Camouflage, though, as I said, can really swing things in your favor if you play it correctly.
Royal 2 exercising great trigger discipline here. Doesn't want to give away his position, wants his teammates to do damage elsewhere, so he can just ghost in. WuTum's backed into PD. See a rotation from Nemesis here. Snipedrone does not know where Royal 2 is positioned. It's a free kill for him. Royal 2 gets traded out, and exactly what they needed to do. If you're going to lose that kill, make sure you trade it out. Frosty's isolated. Back Tram, and he could be about to hit the respawn screen very soon. Glory puts him away. 4 kills required now for Nemesis to tie up the series.
Yeah, tie it up, maybe. Shopify Rebellion try as they might, they just haven't been able to stop these pushes from Nemesis. Nemesis, again, just trying something a little bit different, sending 2 players round pink, and they do catch Rebellion off guard. 47-44 now. They're so close, but Rebellion is still in it. Just 2 more kills required. Make it 1.
LastShot was the last man on the map. Only for the time being, though. They can flood forward now. They know they only need 1 more kill. And as long as they push together, they should be able to get it. Frosty's alone in red room, and they know he's there. SLG continues to ping. Royal 2 will fight him on driveway. He went a little bit too soon, a little bit overzealous. And will that come back to bite them now?
Well, Nemesis are already trying to settle this one, and WuTum will with a melee, as Nemesis will take Street Slayer over Shopify Rebellion and send us 1-1. That does settle the debate of, you know, can Rebellion win on Street Slayer? The answer is still no. They are now 0-3 across the last 2 events. It means we've got a series on our hands here.
That now brings live fire oddball into the equation as our game number 4. We spoke about how important game 3 and 4 were going to be, Dan, and we're going to get...
Games 2 and 4 is where I thought if Nemesis were going to get a game, it would have happened on those, and they've at least done it on 1. The bad news for them is Recharge Stronghold's arguably one of Shopify Rebellion's best now, right? So it's whether you can keep up this thought process of, all right, we know what they're good at, we know what they're bad at. We'll give it a blooming good go here in map number 3, but certainly we know we have to get to map number 4, and they've done just that.
You would argue there's just not many holes in the Shopify Rebellion armor. So when you do find one like this Street Slayer, they made sure to get the win. Just push this series 1 extra game, bare minimum, and make this a difficult task. Make this more uncomfortable for Shopify Rebellion.
And I love the confidence that Nemesis played with. They were always pushing Shopify Rebellion. They were very rarely kind of sitting back and allowing Rebellion to come to them, because if you give Rebellion that initiative where they can decide how they want to play the game, how they want to push, give them a plan of attack, they will punish you. They'll find a way to pinch you. They'll find a way to surround you and smother you, but instead it was Nemesis doing the smothering. Every single time Rebellion were kind of pinned back a little bit, there was always Nemesis members ready to deal damage, and they'll find the victory off the back of it. So 50-47, the final confirmed result on Slayer Streets, and now we move over to Stronghold's Recharge, which, as I said, I think is one of Shopify Rebellion's best maps and modes. Keep an eye on Royal 2. He averages 2 kills a minute on this map and mode. And that means that's going to be a difficult scenario for Nemesis. And you can look at the win percentage difference between these 2 teams as well, back in Arlington on Strongholds.
It's interesting, the contrast between the teams. Of course, Europe were pretty good at Strongholds once upon a time. That quadrant roster went, what was it, 15, 16, 17 and 0 at one point, and now they find themselves with a little bit more difficult. They're getting tested more than they would like. A 50% win rate versus 75 of Shopify Rebellion. And do you see this game being the swing?
I think it will certainly be one that could be swinging in favor of Shopify Rebellion. If Nemesis win this game, I think they win the series. I think I can confidently say that. I mean, maybe I'm going to eat my words, but I would like to at least go out on a dime and try and follow statistics and how things are looking on paper, but we always know not necessarily the way it goes. But I think Nemesis are in good momentum right now. Shopify Rebellion almost with the expectation to win this next game with how good they are. But are we going to see one of those, another major upset here? Because we already know with SSG losing a little bit earlier as well, that's already going to possibly shake up how the bracket looks. It's never easy after pool play. There's always someone that just changes things, and I wonder whether Nemesis can do it again here in pool play.
Nemesis do love upsetting the pools, and we've already seen MB do it to SSG, so bracket's going to look a little bit different. A lot of people's predictions before coming into this event looking shaky.
It's okay to look shaky though sometimes. I think you can look shaky and still get through the next game. You can have a one-off, right? It's not often Rebellion do look shaky. That would be my concern.
And they probably already factor in that the Slayer can go either way. They won't be losing any confidence after that game 2. Game 3 underway then. Snipedrone going for the camouflage, but gets cut down before he can even make it.
Absolutely obliterated. Instead, it's going to be Cykul who I think gets hold of it, maybe. 4 dead for Nemesis, and already a brilliant start from Rebellion.
I think Glory might have had the camouflage there, and that's why they were paying close attention. They managed to take it out of the equation. Captured C.
Enemy team scoring.
Now they have A and C. You know, They'll be hunting for B. A couple of kills do go the way of Nemesis though, and that's the interesting thing about playing this map mode combination. Off the start, you can have the better starting strategy, but still find yourself losing A and B and losing points.
Strongholds on recharge is all about taking advantage of when you do have control of A and B and how you work with it. If there's a fight at B, can you transition someone over towards C just to make them look the other way? Do you take the fight directly at B as well? And if the A is the target, then you have to transition very quickly to make sure you flip C, just as that's happened exactly by Nemesis.
Right heads up play, recognizing that they were going to lose A. Happy to sacrifice it. Royal 2 was over towards Blue Tunnel. He wasn't taken care of just yet. A couple of kills do now go in favor of Shopify Rebellion. All 4 dead for Nemesis. And this could very well be a triple cap.
You can see B is not going to be contested at the moment. It's just difficult when you spawn over towards long haul. If C is the target, you have to be careful that you don't end up getting shock rifle to the face, but it looks like they're going to go for a little bit of a split here, but now LastShot's noticed C has to be defended.
LastShot combining with Royal 2, sending a lot of resources this way, and that might open up A as well for the spawns. They've left elevator spawns now. You can see Glory's going to be the first one to get to A. Convert B as well. Decisions that are made can swing a game.
Enemy team score.
Royal 2 and Tower, that sticky grenade will find the foot. Great close control from Glory, taking the sting out of that sticky grenade.
Yeah, that's going to swing things in favor of Shopify Rebellion quite heavily, and it's another sticky grenade as well from Royal 2.
Score.
Getting sticky with it over on recharge, but Nemesis did break well previously, so that's something they can take away from it. It's not going to be impossible to break the Shopify Rebellion roster when they do get set up, but the camouflage certainly isn't going to help.
Cykul closing in on C. He's got 2 members of Nemesis in front of him. Can he get a double kill? Yes, he can. So C is not going to be converted here. Nemesis are going to be forced to send resources that way. Cykul done such a great job there, and LastShot gets the reset. Nemesis all the way over towards B, fighting from long haul now. LastShot's alone and needs some help from his friends.
Although even if he is alone, he can do enough damage here just by being a threat. Just like that. A couple of shots here or there just to try and back up the Nemesis players who want to go for it. They have to commit a lot of resources if they want to take him down.
And you can see Nemesis actually postured like they were going to go C and going to bait and switch and went A instead. Great heads-up play. They recognized exactly where LastShot was positioned and knew it was going to be so difficult to get him out of there. So prioritized just going A, leaving C and letting him have it.
Enemy team scoring.
Can anyone finish off C though? That's the real question. Temporary 2 versus 2 on the map. C will be controlled by Nemesis, so they are finding a way to consistently break these setups, but they haven't been able to really set up themselves. If it does end up being a messy game going this way, then I think gradually it's just going to go in favor of Shopify Rebellion, unless Nemesis can find some control. But when Frosty's hitting shots like that, it's so difficult to actually control the game.
I think you're right as well. Every single time Nemesis get 2 strongholds, they only get 2 points before one of the strongholds is contested. And that means that they get 2 points, but they lose 6 when they get flipped eventually. And Rebellion will just keep grinding out points. The machine is working right now.
I like that though from Nemesis. They had A and C and they said, look, let's just go for B. Let's make sure we push the trip cap, because then it forces Shopify Rebellion to back themselves into a corner a little bit.
Oh!
That's a sticky grenade right to the face. Big fight between Glory and Royal 2 here.
Royal 2's in trouble. He has help though. Royal 2 gets the kill. Snipedrone's there to spare the blushes of the Irishman though. 2 down for Shopify Rebellion. Glory done enough work, done enough damage, but somehow, some way, LastShot slides in, gets the kill, and will be able to convert an A now.
I mean, just that passage of play from Royal 2 and then LastShot to get control of A. If either one of them had died, it was probably a different scenario here. Nemesis probably would be in the lead, probably would still have A as well. Again, it's those fine margins at the very top of HCS. Because the net, you'd think pushing through the doorway, you're just going to get eaten by a nade, but it was the fact that he was quick enough to get there before the grenade even arrived, let alone explode.
A and C get traded once more. The Rebellion will be more than happy to keep making that trade. They just pull away now with a slight lead. Not much between the 2 teams. Glory's trying to get away. He looks to take the fight in the end, gets the trade. Beautiful work from him. And again, A will go, C will get captured, but this time B is where Nemesis have control, and they will start to score once more.
I'm surprised how comfortably that Nemesis are getting B back time and time again. Rebellion are really committing their resources over towards A or C, but you could say the same thing here, but Nemesis now will take the fight, but that is great cover.
Oh,
Frosty just pulling out damage out of his pocket for fun.
beautiful bait and switch there.
Enemy halfway.
Great teamwork, camouflage captured as well. Elevator spawns now for Nemesis, the collapse can come. Prediction nades from Snipedrone, huge prediction nades from the team. They're gonna lose C, but it could have been a lot worse had the camouflage player still been an influence on the map here. WuTum's gonna try and push back C. Cykul in the 1v1. You can see WuTum's just trying to get information. Is his teammates, are they going to arrive? The answer is no. Cykul wins up big.
Yeah, huge win for Cykul, gets a double kill as well. That's gonna eat away at the time for Nemesis, all 4 dead. And Cykul's looking to push into A2. Means it's gonna force those spawns over towards C. Now previously, Nemesis did pretty well. One taken C, and then someone else went over towards pipes, and they were able to get B as well. But I think there's gonna be 4 players committing towards B this time from the side of Shopify Rebellion.
Neither team really been able to get comfortable and hold a setup. Still jostling for position this late in the game.
Oh,
Setups. Either the setups have been weak or the breaks have been strong for both teams. You mentioned how Nemesis just keep managing to be able to capture B. But the triple cap could get locked in here again. Frosty's going to go to A. Anchor those spawns. SLG towards glass. Snipedrone gets his face ripped from his neck. 3 dead then. Glory last man alive over towards the sneak in. He will also fall. And all of a sudden, Rebellion have put real distance between them and Nemesis.
yeah, this is probably the game right here with this trip cap just being such a heavy scoring period. And even if Nemesis do rescue this one back with a single cap, they still have to try and find A or C. The fact they've only been able to go for B here means it's been a real struggle for them to get any real control of this map.
A lot of pressure being applied now. What was a really close game has now started to spiral out of control here. And you know when you're playing Stronghold, it's never over. There's always a chance. But Nemesis are running out of opportunities. Frosty's got another camouflage. C's being converted, another triple cap being threatened here.
Enemy team nearing victory.
Frosty's gonna close the distance quick. He's getting damage taken from top gold. This is good for Nemesis now. Glory's in the hill. But you feel Nemesis are gonna need a triple cap here, Dan, to really eat away at this lead.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult to try and hold off Shopify Rebellion with just a 2 cap for this long. I mean, it's not impossible, but the sheer caliber of players that Rebellion has, you'd expect one player to win a 1v1 fight where they're not supposed to win it at some point in the next minute or so. Nemesis will try. They are not going to give up. We saw this in the capture the flag on Aquarius as well. They're going to fight to the very death. Give them their chances of getting back into this one, but there is at least the win from Snipedrone. I was going to say there is the fight that's being won that maybe shouldn't. But B is now going to be converted. A also being converted as well, and Rebellion have broke.
The question was, is it impossible? That answer was no, but it is improbable. Now 5 points required. Triple caps in tight, it's in deep. They have got men in B and C, but just as they say that, nope, players fall. And Rebellion retake the lead in the series. 2-1 now the score.
It's all starting to go by the plan of the stats. It's still an unbeaten map in mode for Shopify Rebellion. 4-0 now across the last 2 events. It just is one of those that really accommodates the playstyle of the entire team. Whether it's Royal 2 having the chance to just sit top glass and rain hell down upon the rest of the world, or if it's Frosty going wild with a shock rifle, or even just the sticky grenades.
The question that was posed at the start of the series, Dan, was stylistically, play styles. Will Nemesis be able to match Rebellion's pace? And we've seen that they have. They've been competitive. In stark contrast to the FaZe series. Now, we can say that maybe they ran out of juice, maybe they were playing too much and too long. But we have seen that they can push Shopify the distance. They can make it rather uncomfortable, but in those big moments, they haven't been able to find the ice, and they haven't quite been able to find the strategy and the way to lock down, whether it's the strongholds, whether it's the slayers. there is a few holes in the game they need to try and shore up.
And I think it matters what map and mode you're playing as well, for the pace of which you are going for it. Like, it was very different on Street Slayer when Nemesis were able to constantly push through and take charge of really the map just with the pace of which they were playing, whereas on Recharge Strongholds, you can play that way, but then you might not have any strongholds to go alongside it, and suddenly then the spawn's happening on the other side of the map. You've lost A or you've lost C, and I think it's about recognizing when you need to speed up and when you need to slow it down. And I'm not saying that Nemesis are incapable of doing it because they've already displayed that, but I just think the Rebellion may be a little bit better at switching up the pace when they need to at the moment. Again, it is a better mapping mode for Shopify Rebellion, so kind of where I was expecting this series to go to be 2-1 at this point, but live fire oddball is going to be the true test now for Nemesis. Because, again, when Shopify Rebellion are in control, they look incredible, but what we did learn from that map 3 was the fact that they can break setups, Nemesis. And you need that ability when you're going into a ball game where we know Shopify Rebellion at some point are going to get the chance to have that ideal setup.
And it's not even out of the realms of possibility for us to be sitting here and Nemesis to have a 2-1 lead. Not because of the Strongholds game mode, but because of the Aqua flag, 4-3. But a number of occasions, a number of opportunities came their way and they fumbled them. You have to think they're kicking themselves, whether it's now, whether it's later. They know that game 1 was theirs. They snatched defeat from the jaws of victory.
You can't afford to, though. You can't afford to cast your mind back and think of what ifs. Instead, just focus on what's ahead of you here, and that is oddball live fire. Again, it's another map and mode that Shopify Rebellion have yet to win this season. You can see oddball in general, they are 4-4, which isn't terrible, but maybe for a team that's in the top 2, you'd expect it to be a little bit better. For Nemesis, they are 4-1. It is definitely one of their better game types. Certainly keep an eye on Cykul in this one. He's usually the player who holds the ball for Shopify Rebellion, as well as dropping big numbers on the slaying side. On the side of Nemesis, I'm going to be looking out for Glory to be the difference maker. I've said a lot about WuTum, I've said a lot about Snipedrone, even talked about SLG. But when it comes to oddball, Glory is often the player who is up there statistically, whether it be getting kills on the board, whether it's the damage he's outputting, or just having that ball in his hands to rotate. So they're going to be my players to watch, shows.
And you know these players love live fire as well. That chance to get the sniper rifle in your hands, take control of a game, dictate what way a series is going to swing. Glory is playing this game for moments like that. For legacy moments. You look back, you're talking about your kids, your grandkids. Here's the moment I won a series for my team. This is where I popped off. The starting strategy's already favoring Nemesis here. They've got hands on the ball. But the sniper rifle from the hands of Frosty.
Enemy has the
He's
ball.
already finding faces.
Yeah, would you rather have your hands on the ball or have Frosty have his hands on the sniper rifle and maybe even a camouflage to go alongside it? I think the next 20 seconds will tell us really what you would prefer. Ball gets played off the map. Can Frosty win this engagement? And he's just going to line up Snipedrone. So even though it was a nice early start for Nemesis, it's only 15 points to show for it. But again, if you keep scrapping up 15 points time and time again, it can certainly put you in a good position.
Ball dropped.
You've seen games won by a lot less than 15 seconds, that much is for sure. Frosty taking his time with Snipedrone, knew that kill was guaranteed. Slides towards Big Door now. 2 members positioned over towards green, so he's looking to provide some cover fire here. WuTum will step across the bridge. Frosty will miss that shot. He doesn't often miss them ones. You have to make him pay when he does.
Ball doesn't go off the map. Ball actually stays there. Nemesis, I think WuTum's just got the call, saying, actually, ball didn't get played. A little bit of a blunder from Shopify Rebellion, just not able to get it off the map, and Nemesis can now get some free time off the back of that. Can Nemesis take oddball live fire to send us to a game 5 here in pool play? Who's just seemed to find a little bit of something extra special on these Fridays.
Finding a little bit of extra oomph. It's required against Rebellion. Double kill for Snipedrone. Got 1 ticket damage into Royal 2 as well. Got the play ball this time as well. 40 seconds now. That's a significant advantage. If they can play these next few moments right, make this really uncomfortable for Rebellion. Don't give them an easy setup. As I say that, 2 go down. SLG and Glory in the respawn screen. WuTum's going to join them. They're going to be staggered spawns. Snipedrone's in big trouble here. The call will be just don't die. And Cykul will get the kill.
Now, this is what I said. At some point, Rebellion are going to get the ideal setup, and it's how Nemesis actually respond to that. How do they break? It's come at a time where the camouflage is also arriving. So depending on which way you look at it, it could be the perfect time to try and break, or the worst time. Because if you don't break it and you lose camouflage, you could suddenly find yourself down by quite a bit of points.
The break's going to come. Cykul's got the camouflage. Let's have a listen in with Nemesis and see how they navigate these final moments.
Enemy has the ball.
Hey, Tommy's behind me.
He's on us.
Enemy has the ball.
Okay, I spawned.
Get finish this.
I spawned elbow. Kill
Kill
us.
us.
He said it. I'm C.
Yeah, I'm gonna go dip. I have her dip.
I'm holding C. I'm holding tower.
No, mid-A, run up.
Hey,
Two mid-A, two mid-A, two
One
mid-A.
shot, white ball.
Victory.
One top mid. No get snipe yet. On snipe. Cyclo sniping event. Cyclo snipe. One was top mid. Might have dropped. I don't know. One cuts.
Play this early.
One going cuts.
Yeah, two top middle guys, two top
One
middle.
on OS now. One on OS now.
Two top middle.
One ball. One ball.
On ball one.
Top middle.
One shot ball. One shot ball.
I spawned.
Yes,
One
Keto
elbow.
sniping. Keto sniping. Three there.
Yeah, OS
Enemy
absolute.
has the ball.
He didn't die. He's
Two on ball. Two on ball. One is snipe.
I'm
Snipe
going
is
B.
good one. Let's go right, let's go right.
Yep.
Victor.
Keto sniping bottom mid.
Back to dip.
Get big again.
He's two shot big.
Go mid-A.
I can look.
One shot in A roll two.
Deep sniping. I needed it.
Enemy has
Okay.
Yeah, one shot dip.
I'm
Bring
in-
me dip.
I'm
One shot dip.
hitting ball. Ball's
Too
one
big
shot.
on me. Too big on me. I'm dead. Too big. Too big. Too big. Too big. Last two big. Last two big. And last two dip. Last two dip.
Main shield.
Maybe Keto.
Yeah.
I ball.
They're out, the bottom middle.
Yeah, it's fine.
I spawn OS. I spawn OS.
Stay close.
They're back in.
And dip. No damage.
We can
Two
dip.
dummies. Dummies in top
Okay,
tier.
okay.
Two dip on me, guys.
I don't see
Which on OS?
I come up here.
One shot in A.
Go on.
I never got A pit, A
Yeah,
pit.
one shot A. One shot A. I score one shot.
Dummies after. Dummies after. Last guy.
He's one dead.
All dead. All dead.
the ball.
Yeah.
Still four.
I spawn big, I'm just picking. So all four down on the side of Shopify Rebellion. Nemesis able to hold the ball at the moment, but let's jump into a
Enemy
quick
team
listen on the
nearing
side of
victory.
Rebellion and see how they respond.
15 seconds.
I think they're just sitting, but no, we gotta go.
12 seconds.
I'm going time with you.
E5, 2 E5, 2 E5.
5 seconds. Walk out.
All good.
Yo,
Keep 5 for kills.
But no cigar. They almost managed to just get that ball off of them, but Nemesis are able to hold on to it and take the first round. And interesting listening on the side of Nemesis as well. Very passionate at the moment. Very much believe they can get back into this series, and for good reason. They are a team who certainly would have done their research and know this is a very winnable one.
Royal 2 falls. Sniper rifle is just picked up. It's a late grab.
The ball.
Ball getting rotated as well. 3 dead for a moment for Nemesis. You know, LastShot wants to hand this ball or the sniper rifle over so he can have a larger impact on the map. Royal 2's going for the camouflage. He tosses the ball towards him. Not opting to play the camo this time. Instead, Royal 2's gonna pop it into his
Enemy
chest.
has the ball.
SLG falls. Snipedrone just about looked like he was gonna join him, but LastShot instead decided to play it a bit more
Enemy has
patient,
the
perhaps. The spidey senses were thinking there was a player over towards the big door. Like we spoke about though, Royal 2 does have that camouflage. He's done a full loop of the map so
Ball
far.
drop. Enemy has the ball.
Got the ball over towards this tower side. SLG gets a pick. WuTum does fall though. Glory taking a lot of damage trying to get the green. This is a great start here for Rebellion off the break.
Out of bounds.
I think if you look back at one of the major problems as to round one, and it was the ball not being played that Nemesis really took advantage of and got maybe 20 to 33 points that perhaps they shouldn't have. And in the end, it was enough of a difference to allow Nemesis to get across the finish line. And Rebellion just need to make sure they do not allow that to happen. Said Glory is one of those players that can just provide a little bit of something extra when it comes to this mapping mode, and he's doing just that.
Ball out of bounds. Ball in.
Glory almost lost. The player under him there for a second. Royal 2 puts an elbow in his spine and gets the kill. It's 2 dead apiece. WuTum patiently waiting on the ball, maybe baiting it just a touch here. Cykul managed to just survive on the scoreboard for how long is the question? The answer, not very long. Frosty will receive 1 tick of damage off WuTum in that fight as well, making this one difficult fight for Frosty as Snipedrone gets the kill. But LastShot picks up the ball, gets himself out of dodge. Doesn't decide to play it this time though. Cykul trying to stay alive in green, trying to prioritize living here.
Enemy has the ball.
Not successful in his attempt. Royal 2 will drop off nest, over towards green then we go. Heads up play from Snipedrone, recognizing the situation that he was in. Somehow spins it a dime and gets the kill.
Gets the kill after the play of the ball. I mean, in theory, he could have been gaining time right now, but you're not really to know.
The ball. dropped.
It was one of those things that I think it was the right decision, but he would have no idea that he was going to actually win that engagement in the end. But they are still getting time. He was able to give the team a heads up that the ball was going to be played. Now they have the ball, and 3 are dead, and they have a camouflage, and the sniper rifles coming up. So
Enemy has the ball.
it's like an early Christmas here for Nemesis.
Things
Ball
looking pretty
dropped.
rosy then.
Enemy has the ball.
As I say that, 2 go down. Snipedrone and Glory hit the respawn screen. WuTum with the camouflage, trying to stay alive here. He's got 2 members trained on him though. Sniper rifle pops up. Frosty will dip away with it.
Enemy has
Will he be able to survive? The answer is yes. This could be a huge moment in this game.
Yeah, you don't want to allow Frosty to get away with a snipe. We've already seen some big shots that he hit already in this game, and there's going to be another body shot. And just like that, that push comes to nothing. Nemesis need to wait, but sadly, Glory's in a position where they're going to be able to delay this one. In the end, he gets the body shot, but now Nemesis is just going to be a 3 here.
We always want to see the flashy headshots, but sometimes body shots can be just enough to put pressure on your team, on the enemy team.
Oh,
Frosty finds the face of SLG there.
Ball dropped. Enemy half victory.
Frosty's popping off now, killing spree locked in. Hits another body shot on the Glory. Frosty's looking to win this round by himself right now.
sometimes you can just be the difference maker with a sniper rifle. All it takes is a couple of tags, a couple of body shots, even a headshot here and there. Now Shopify Rebellion have about a 20-point lead here. Nemesis unable to stop them. Nemesis doing well to at least break and get some kills, but then every time you come across Frosty, sadly, you're just falling victim to the sniper rifle. Good news for them is the sniper is out of ammo now, but SLG is going to fall as well to Royal 2. And still points going up for Shopify Rebellion.
Frost just extracted so much value from that sniper rifle. You worried when he was able to scarper away bottom middle and get through Rat Tunnel. Was that going to spell misery for Nemesis? The answer was yes. He was hitting the shots. He was doing damage. And such a almost insurmountable lead now. 85 to 35 with 2:30 on the clock. A lot of work to do for Nemesis in round 2.
You just saw the advantage of playing mouse and keyboard there for WuTum. He was running very much over towards tower, got the call that someone was weak sandbags and was able to help instantly. A controller player on a lower sensitivity probably would have just kept going because you're not going to be able to turn around fast enough as SLG wants to take the fight for a triple. Royal 2 repositions, but Royal 2 still gets found.
Good work from SLG. Now trying to contest the camouflage as well. 3 members of Shopify Rebellion leaning over towards camo now. SLG done a lot of damage. Glory was there to capitalize. He lost his shields in the process though. And after this skirmish, looks as though Frosty might have been able to get down onto the camouflage. Scoops it up, pops it into his chest. WuTum's going to be forced into a play ball very soon. Frost looking to have even more influence on this round. He's been huge. He's been massive. But there's still work to do. They've only got a 15-second lead now. Nemesis has done so good.
Enemy has the ball.
It helps when SLG's got the eyes of a hawk. He just tagged Frosty 3 different times as Frosty was trying to get behind, get out to dirt. WuTum still has the ball over towards green, and just like that, we're going to be tied up as Nemesis now right back into this one. But now Frosty can put that camouflage to his advantage and at least stop WuTum from getting too much time here as the ball will be played.
Nemesis now with a 5-second lead. This next round of Slay is going to be so important. Glory gets the opening pick here. WuTum did fall. WuTum's back off the respawn screen now. The ball's been scooped up by Nemesis. And they're forcing Shopify Rebellion to make plays that perhaps they don't want to. Cykul gets a pick though. It's been answered back by Snipedrone with a trade. Numbers advantage just favoring Rebellion for now. This final round coming down to the wire here, because if it goes the way Nemesis wanted to, they will win it here. LastShot got hands on ball though. And he's moving it towards tower. 2 members of Nemesis have fallen. This is the opportunity. This is the moment to tie up the round. Snipe shot connects with the body. Snipe shot connects with Glory's body as well. And he hunts down the kill. Double kill, making a triple for LastShot, taking over the round.
Absolute filth, dirty from LastShot as he keeps the hopes alive of winning the series here. And now takes us to 1-1 here on Oddball Live Fire. Nemesis had the opportunity, but that is the difference maker. That is why Shopify Rebellion find themselves in finals, because someone can just step up with a sniper rifle when you need them to.
This round, that last round was about moments. Frosty had his. LastShot put an exclamation point on that round. Nemesis find themselves in a very familiar position. The nearly moments, the triple kill for Royal 2. Now he's deciding to have his moment in the early round 3.
Yeah, this is the problem when you're going up against a team like Shopify Rebellion. Every single player on that roster can have those big moments, can be the difference maker. And it comes down to such fine margins. If you have that one player who's just hitting headshot after headshot, it's almost impossible to do anything.
Ball dropped.
Penguin sat on the sofa and
Ball dropped.
he said time and time again, they'll ask the question, what went wrong in that game? What went wrong in that series? And it was X player just hit no scopes. Frosty's done it, last shot too. Royal 2 looks to a following suit with his teammates.
Which means it's Cykul's turn next, right?
Ball dropped.
Or is it going to be someone from Nemesis? WuTum, the last remaining player. Camouflage again is going to be in the hands of Rebellion here.
Ball dropped.
Camouflage does just dissipate. There's the word I was looking for. Had to go deep into the folders. Snipedrone in-house, putting down damage. Clambers in towards the window. Trying to play cat and mouse here. Gets the stick on the Snipedrone. Stays alive somehow, some way. And gets his hands on the ball.
Oh.
Nemesis are in massive trouble here.
Another big double. And Nemesis just needs to accept it. And Glory comes flying in.
Enemy has the ball.
I was going to say, except that you've got a couple of players down. Can you just wait for that push? Maybe Glory got a call that it was okay to go for it because they had maybe saw Royal 2 was out of position and they do essentially get a trade 1-for-1, so it's 3v3 on the map. QT is going to go in favor of Cykul though. At least get the chance to back off. But this is a big push from Nemesis. 2 are down on the side of Rebellion.
Decent early lead here for Rebellion off that hot start. The big brawl happening in-house. LastShot and Royal 2 are just not there just yet. It's a 2v3 in there, but somehow Rebellion managed to get the picks that they need. Cykul gets one. It's a 1v1 with Snipedrone and Cykul then. Plasma grenade goes down. Snipedrone's forced to give it up. Re-engages, takes the fight, loses it to Cykul. This could mean even more time now for Shopify Rebellion.
Yeah, great collapse as well. LastShot's able to come down through bottom middle. Another camouflage, and sadly for Nemesis, this game is starting to run away from them because of the constant camouflages, and now snipers coming up. Nemesis, though, have maybe timed this well. 3 are going to be dead on the side of Rebellion if LastShot was to fall, but he doesn't because he has sniper. Or camouflage, excuse me. But who did find that sniper?
Enemy has the ball. Ball dropped.
Snipedrone. Dead. LastShot has it now. I was right. I knew it was coming. It was a premonition.
Is it LastShot's moment then?
Incoming.
SLG will fall, and we're starting to see it now down where Rebellion members are staying alive, no shields, when they really shouldn't be able to, and Nemesis are desperate in the kills, they're desperate in the damage, and they're not being rewarded for it. Rebellion just playing patient, playing intelligent. It's great awareness now, bringing the ball back towards tower, doing damage, throwing down grenades, WuTum down to no shields, and Royal 2 is in hot pursuit.
It's LastShot who actually gets the cleanup, but Royal 2 down bottom middle will get the trade. They all count, and they're all very important here because there's still time going in favor of Rebellion. Rebellion have been capitalizing on this time every single time they have a player advantage right now. SLG loses the sniper. Frosty, is he going to be able to find it? I think he's just going to opt to stay alive for now, but he's going to be able to shift his way back up, and of course he wasn't going to leave the sniper rifle behind.
Making himself such a difficult kill here, forcing Nemesis to pay so much attention, spend so many resources on him. He's still alive here. They chased him bottom middle, they chased him over towards tower, and he still lives, and his teammates are getting kills around it. Frosty's having a huge oddball game here.
Just shouldn't be able to stay alive at that point. You have to shut him down if you're Nemesis, but that's also why Frosty, throughout Friday and Saturday in Arlington, was the best player in the arena without a shadow of a doubt. However, Sunday maybe didn't quite match those performances. Could this tournament be a little bit different for Shopify Rebellion? Their first hurdle here, will they fall or can they just about leap over Nemesis? Because it's looking like it's heading that way.
Things were going so well for Nemesis. But did they find themselves in that familiar situation again, like they've seen in game 1? They gave themselves every chance to win. But they're coming up short here. 3 dead for Rebellion. This is finally an opportunity for Nemesis to eat away at that lead. They've done it in round 1. Can they do it again?
Very quick response from Glory to move that ball towards tower. Frosty's going to be the first player to push, though. WuTum had camouflage, but gets shut down. 3 are dead now for Nemesis. The ball's going to have to be played, so not really much damage done in terms of the clock, and all 4 go dead now. And someone was already waiting bottom middle. Is the writing on the wall for this one? Nemesis are going to have to start taking a couple of risks. And by doing so, Rebellion might just be able to lay some traps here.
Beautiful 5-shot from Frosty. Predicting the exact routes the Nemesis players were going to take, knew exactly where they were spawning and where they were likely to be. The ball hasn't gone off the map again. Frosty notices this, not making the same error they did in round 1. Gets it off the map, and it's played. The play ball is going to be delayed because of the repulse into the air. Yeah,
just a very minor thing, but a very important one as well, especially with only 1 minute on the clock. And it gives your team more time to get bottom middle to compete with it. So good heads-up play from Frosty. WuTum's already down. It's going to be a 4 versus 3. And again, it's the sniper rifle in the hands of Rebellion, and again, there's a member of Nemesis dying to a no-scope. And I think that'll be the story for this map in mode, is the no-scopes have been everything.
Sniper rifle has just been so influential. Stone cold killers in the hands of all these players. Royal 2 finds yet another face.
Just 12 more seconds now. Nemesis is one last push for them.
The final knockings for Nemesis. Snipedrone gets a kill, making a double kill. LastShot in towards the cuts area then. They only need 5 more seconds. They're gonna fall though. Numbers favoring Nemesis. They still have life. They're still in this game.
Yeah, they've got the ball. Cykul last remaining player, but he's got a chance now to flank around, be a little bit sneaky, and try and just catch them off guard. But maybe WuTum smelt something, because he headed the other way and made sure that ball did not head towards tower. So instead, it's going to be a full-on 4v4 push here that Nemesis need to hold.
WuTum pulled the handbrake up and decided to drift his way out of there. Here comes Cykul though, here comes the pain. Beautiful grenades go down. They've managed to shut him down, but so much damage was done. Glory's gonna fall. WuTum's forced to play the ball once more. Double kill locked in for LastShot. Ball is played, and is this the end for Nemesis series?
20 seconds. Snipedrone's gonna head down bottom middle though, and will get a touch on the ball, but 2 have gone down. Make it 3 if Glory falls as well, which he will. And maybe Nemesis have just got too much to do with too little time.
Rebellion seem happy enough just to keep all 4 guns up on the map. Nobody's going to hold this ball. Happy to play the clock then. The final knockings dwindle down, and Nemesis run out of time. They run out of opportunities. It's a 3-1 series victory for Shopify Rebellion.
Nemesis run out of steam. Boy, did they come close. But Shopify Rebellion demonstrate why they are one of the top 2 teams in this tournament, why they got to the grand finals, why they are one of the favorites to win this tournament. As even in a game type where they've typically struggled, they still dig deep. And those clutch moments came through time and time again. The difference was the sniper rifle. Without a shadow of a doubt, it was the plays from almost every single member on Rebellion as soon as they had that sniper in their hands.
It's crazy as well, because you talk about who's going to be the most important player on the map, who's going to be the one that wins the game. And the issue is, all 4 members of Rebellion stepped up there, Dan. They had their moments. They hit the shot. Sometimes you have to let your teammate pop off. All 4 players did it in that oddball.
And how can you compete with that? I think that's what Nemesis will look back on and say, well, you know, Shopify just had one of those games where individually they outclassed us.
Separated by 2 seconds in the end, Dan. 240 to 238. So little to separate. The difference was just that sniper rifle. Frosty managing to get away and survive, hitting those shots. That's why they're the superstars in the league, because they do, and they're capable of moments like that.
And I think you heard it during the listening. Wonderboy was calling out for prioritizing the snipe when it was spawning as well. And I think there was a few times where it was too easy to grab for Rebellion. I think you can very easily forget about sniper rifle and just say, yeah, it's fine if they grab it. You know, we're going to be able to grenade them when they're top middle. But if they get away with it, or if that, you know, they go down to bottom middle and then suddenly they repulse back up like Frosty did, suddenly you find yourself getting no-scope left, right, and center, and you're 3-1 down in the series.
Well, Lottie and Wes, you had an opportunity to watch that series as well. It was far more competitive than maybe Wes thought it was going to be.
Yeah, honestly, I'm excited to hear from you, Clutch, because I think that was a big discussion coming into this weekend was, are Nemesis the real deal? Can they do it again against another Titan in our HCS? And for me, yes, 100%. They're the real deal. They're here to play. They are not to be messed with, and you have to put some respect on their name.
Yeah, absolutely. I think if Nemesis should not be hanging their head low here coming off this series. Shopify are who we think they are, who we know they are. But Nemesis, we're still learning so much about, I feel, and as they continue to push top teams back to back to back in series, that's where they will gain the respect. That's where they will gain kind of the respect of their peers, right? And I think they have every bit of Shopify's respect. It took highlight reels with the S7 that last game to keep this series from going the distance. You love to see that from Shopify, knowing how bad that this tournament's going to mean to them, but at the same time, you love to have the opportunity to win series like this, and if you can just find yourself getting a couple more of those power weapons, keeping them out of the hands of the likes of Royal 2, then you'll have a better opportunity to win the series.
Very much so. I think it was honestly really fun to watch Shopify being challenged this early on in the competition. So on day one, just to understand what they are like as a team and their ability to pull things out of the bag when they need to. They're not just plain sailing through pool play. They are being challenged. They're being, you know, contradicted in terms of the way that they're playing. So it was exciting to see that and to see how they handle that kind of pressure so early on. But talking about pressure, we do have one incredible person on the sofa. I was going to say the desk, the sofa. Welcome to the lounge of the Halo HCS.